I mean, having experienced Lost, you know, I always said that the beginning of every season of Lost, the writers it would be like looking down a mountain if you're going to ski, and you know, we start at the top and go down to the lodge at the end where you sit by the fire, and that's the end of the season. And along the way, they definitely knew where the poles were. But sometimes you'd go off into the woods, you know, and you'd hit the moguls, or you'd hit a tree, or you'd come back or go around it. So there was always a certain amount of flexibility and spontaneity in the storytelling. And I think that's one of the things that's most exciting for writers and creators of episodic television, in that it's a novelistic experience. You know, and William Styron didn't know that Sophie's Choice was going to be 600 pages when he started. And I think that's true of episodic television. So there is a certain amount of the writing a big book, and things change. Characters come and go for various reasons. Ideas work and don't work, but there is an overall uber plan to Alcatraz, yes.
So you have like a planned first season, and then you have the planned larger mythos.
Yes. Liz Sarnoff and the writers definitely have it.
How much research is done with the actual prisoners of Alcatraz? Are we bringing in like actual...
Occasionally, you know, and most people aside from Al Capone and a couple of those, the Babe Ruth of criminals, don't know who was there, who wasn't there. So there's going to be a certain amount of fictionalizing and occasional real people. And I think the approach to the show will be, you know, be as realistic as possible in terms of who those people were.
How long are we going to have to wait before we kind of figure out what's going on with the time travel? Is that going to be an answer in season 1?
Why do you say time travel?
Well, they're coming from the past.
I guess that's certain that defines itself as time travel. I think there'll be things, there'll be breadcrumbs along the way in the forest. This is a forest, not a jungle, like my last show.
Were you guys able to shoot on the actual island itself, the prison?
I didn't do the pilot, and yes, and we will continue to occasionally.
Okay.
So it's a combination of sets and the real deal.
Now there's been comparisons to 4400, the TV show. I'm not sure if you've seen it or not. Do you have anything to say about that for fans that are a bit worried?
No, I mean, I think Alcatraz will be Alcatraz. It'll be what it is. You know, and any show that deals with those kind of mysterious elements, especially with time, are going to be compared to each other. So, but I think this show very specifically deals with the cultural mythology of that place in our world. Alcatraz has a real resonance, you know, as a scary place.
Was that the thing that attracted you most to working on the project?
Well, yeah, I think the idea of it, and the idea of it was really intriguing, and I'd read the script, and I couldn't get involved in the pilot for various reasons, schedule, and Danny Cannon directed it and did a really, really terrific job. And I really liked the cast when I saw the pilot, and I liked the concept for the show and the potential for the storytelling. I thought was very fresh.
How much is the format in the pilot sort of what will be throughout the season, you know, one prisoner a week kind of thing, or is it changed up a little bit?
I think for a while.
Yeah.
You know, it'll focus on one character who's back. But they won't always be prisoners.
Okay.
And occasionally, once we get going, they may be people related to prisoners. You know, it won't always be. I think the show will probably start off replicating that formula, and then it'll start to veer.
are we looking at a supernatural type of occurrence or a scientific disappearance?
How do you define? How do you separate the two?
I guess
Last question, guys.
a reasonable, like, you know how lost have their scientific explanation for some stuff, and then the smoke monster was just like, you know, that was supernatural.
Well, that was also, yeah, I mean, I think you're dealing with the flesh and the spirit, and it's all kind of one big mysterious soup. But I think this will be, whatever it'll be good.
Let me just quickly ask you, what did you guys, so many people are obviously involved with Lost, involved with the show. I mean, what did you guys learn, what to do and what not to do going into this series?
Not to show the smoke monster too much. That was one of the main lessons. And I was a big fan. I loved our finale. I mean, I directed it, but I felt that the more human, spiritual explanation, for a lack of a better word, or resolution to our show was much more profound than if they would have found a switch that linked up to the CIA. And I know that a lot of fans were looking for that kind of explanation, something really cool, or, you know, wow, I never thought of that. But I felt like dealing with the bigger questions of life and death, and I thought were a much more profound way to go. But I was also a fan of the end of The Sopranos, which, like all of you probably, the first time I saw it, I went, what happened to my TV? And I did the show, and I was shocked, you know, so...
You're a man of faith.
Thank you. Man of peace.
Thank you.
Man of science, man of faith. Take care, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.